All right, so now let's start to export this inside of export this out of Blender and import it inside of Unreal Engine. Now, let's say you have a very slow computer, you have a very old computer, then I would not recommend you to actually import this whole export this whole project, this whole scene as one file and just import it in Unreal Engine. That might crash your software, and it is not obviously not very reliable. So instead, what I would recommend you to do, I just have this random piece right there. Let me just delete that. Anyways, so instead, what I would recommend you to do is I would recommend you to actually import these objects separately. So what you can do is you can just select these objects. Let's say I select this one. Make sure to select the whole collections. Just don't select individual objects, because obviously then you'll have to select all of them, and there's a very high chance of you missing them. So for example, if you have an object selected and you want to export it, press on File, Export, FBX, and then you can make sure to go inside this include menu and just make sure that limit to is set to selected objects, and then only the objects which are selected are going to be exported. So what I'm going to do is that you're going to select wherever you want to export it, and you can just press export FBX. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be exporting this whole scene as one FBX file. So, but before that, make sure that everything is not hidden, and make sure that everything which you want to export is actually basically ready to be exported. So I'm just going to close all these collections just because, yeah, there was no reason why I did that. I just wanted to satisfy my OCD. Anyways, yeah, so this empty reference, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be deleting this for the time being, because I don't want to export this. Yeah, so and this queue, I'm just going to name it structure. And I would also recommend you to actually name all these if you can. However, I'm lazy and I'm not going to do that. But if you have the time and if you are willing to do that, you are welcome, and you are actually encouraged to do that. All right, so let me just export this whole scene. So I'm just going to close that and just go to File, Export, FBX, and make sure that the select objects is not turned on, because obviously we want to export everything. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be simply selecting a folder where I'm going to export this. I'm just going to go inside the models menu, and I'm going to name it apartment underscore ss. And if I just export this whole scene, press export FBX, and well, let's hope that it doesn't crash. It is going to take some time. It might take like up to a few it's only going to take a few seconds, but like just hope that it doesn't crash or anything. All right, so I would recommend you to not do anything while it's actually exporting, because you might actually cause it to crash. Just wait for it to do its thing. Alright, so it has been successfully exported out of Blender, and now it's time to import this inside of Unreal Engine. So I'm going to close Blender before doing this. Yeah, so